My name is Arya Shae. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the founder, the board chair, and the executive director of Trans Affirm. Trans Affirm is a nano nonprofit, so we are a 501c3 in the state of Idaho, and we serve our trans and gender diverse Idahoans with resources, advocacy, and education. I started Trans Affirm when I moved to Idaho in 2020. I came from a large city that was one of the largest in the entire United States and very quickly found out how rural life was. I wasn't able to find hormones right away, so I was off of my hormones for about 2 years, which was one of the hardest times of my life, being able to not find the care that made me feel euphoria and like myself. After a while of looking into where I can find care and connecting with the right people and communities, I found out that folks that had even lived here for all of their life didn't know where to go for trans care. So slowly but surely, I realized how important it was to be able to get folks connected with the resources that mattered most. So Trans Affirm primarily operates remotely. So we do serve the entire state of Idaho. However, many of our board members are in different places. Board member positions are unpaid and we operate as staff. So all of our staff/board members are all unpaid and doing this on volunteer time. I work full-time outside of this, as well as putting in at least 100 hours a month into Trans Affirm as well. Most of us do work full-time jobs outside of working on Trans Affirm, and we put many hours to making sure that this works for free. We typically meet Idahoans where they are and travel long distances and many hours to be able to make events in different areas where folks need it most. I put a lot of personal work into Trans Affirm that has extended past what an organization that has a building would have. My car is almost always loaded up to the brim with Trans Affirm things and boxes. My house has, I can't tell you how many brochures are littered around my house. We don't have that physical location. We have to constantly haul different boxes across city lines and go hours upon hours to drive to get to places and constantly load up our cars, take away time to ourselves on just a regular weekend to be able to set up programs to make sure others have that assistance. Finding resources in Idaho for trans folks can be very difficult. A lot of people tend to not advertise their services because of facing scrutiny. Providers very often have threats to lose their license, to not be able to practice safely in their area, to lose patients, to lose really their job. I think that if we encourage our community to be able to not be so scared to offer something that is healthcare and to educate themselves on ways to serve our trans communities, we would have more access to equitable healthcare for trans people. But currently, a lot of folks are scared. A lot of folks feel that being so spread out, we only have access to trans care if we travel outside of state or if we go to the big city of Boise. When these topics come up, they seem controversial to the average Idahoan. Because of these things, people tend to fear, even in their communities, connecting and making those resources in a way that furthers our visibility. Something I very often tell folks about being visible in places like Idaho, where it seems hard to be ourselves, is that it's so important that we stay here and that we fight to be here, because you can take every single trans person, every queer person out of Idaho, and the next day there will be thousands more of us because we are born and we are not made. We deserve to be here just like anybody else, and we have every right to continue to fight for a more equitable Idaho for those who cannot leave. Allyship is an action word. It's not enough anymore to just not be transphobic, but we need to be able to put that effort into doing actions that help the trans community. Fighting for a more equitable Idaho with legislation in your businesses, making sure your practices are gender affirming. Being able to fight for trans Idahoans is more than just not being transphobic or changing your language. It goes beyond that into action. I think people in Idaho get stuck in a cycle of not being able to provide adequate care because they don't know a trans person. They don't understand the importance that comes with meeting one of us. Like, genuinely, meet a trans person, say hi, understand our story, get to know what we go through as people, and maybe you'll be able to expand your mind and understand what we need from you as an ally, as a person, and as an Idahoan. I think a lot of people ask the question, how can I support Trans Affirm? Some people jump to saying, oh, we can donate money, and that helps us tremendously. But there's smaller ways that if you don't have those funds, you can jump in and help us in a lot of different ways, from volunteering on our organization, following us on social media, helping us run an event. When we need help with Trans Affirm, we need you. We need folks who are willing to be able to donate when we need funds. We need folks to be able to donate their time and volunteer with us when things and events come towards us where we need more hands. We need folks that are willing to share our programs, to talk about trans people when we are not in the room and defend us, to be able to speak up on anti-trans legislation, and to be able to truly support trans Idahoans besides just virtually. Building a more equitable Idaho starts beyond the internet. It's beyond a hashtag, it's beyond calling yourself an ally. It starts with action.